In this video, we're going to take a look at EP's AI feedback tool built into the open-ended response sections of our lessons. We'll also take a look at how we go and assign that to students and the options we have there. Whether accessing resources from our Discover tab or the library, you're going to find inside of the preview of these lessons a note to mark down anywhere where the AI feedback is going to be available. You'll also see the AI feedback icon here alongside any of these potential and possible questions which are going to attract the AI feedback itself. To test out these questions, you will just need to try these as a student. The easiest way to do so is to come up here next to the Assign button, click on the three dots and select View this as a student. Doing so will take you through to the student view of the lesson itself where the AI feedback will be active. So clicking into one of those questions where we saw that AI feedback, we can also see a note here that the students get to let them know the AI feedback is enabled, and we can go through and import a response here to generate that AI feedback. With our response in place, we can select the check answer option and start running through the feedback itself. It will come through in two main forms. We will see some inline feedback generated around our specific response, and that will tie into the aggregate feedback over here on the right hand side. We'll also see a star rating down the bottom that provides some sort of indication of how strong our answer is. In this particular instance, we've got the feedback from the system around the positives that are here. So we've got our correct grouping explanation and included our binomial names. But the specific piece of feedback to help this student improve on their answer would be to add in a specific example and to use the common terminology that's there in place. That would help bump the question up. Now this has been given a 3-star rating by the system, and the stars are not a mark of the actual answer itself, so much as they are a representation of how strong the answer is relative to the question and what is being required of it. Now, when students are answering these questions, there's two different things that might happen for them. If they receive 2 stars or lower, then the option to proceed forward won't be here and available for them. In this instance, the default that we have in place for what we call our learning loop is 3 stars. So the students provide an answer that's worth 3 stars here, they can progress forward. If they're in an instance where they want to improve their answer or they need to improve their answer, they can select the Improve My Answer button down here, and they can look to just edit this question, or they can start over again, depending on where they are at with their response. As we go through the process to assign this particular lesson, we'll have some options there around that kind of threshold we put in place around what we call our learning loop. So let's assign this task to students as a task, and we'll jump through those steps and what options we have available there. With the class, date, and content selected, we can head down to options to adjust some of the AI's behavior. Within this space, we have a few different options around how that AI feedback takes hold. First and foremost, we can switch the AI off altogether, or switch it back on just using the dial here. Whatever option you select will remain the default going forward. And then we have some options around our learning loop. As mentioned before, that learning loop relates to what star rating students need to achieve before the system will allow them to progress forward. If we leave that to standard, then that will provide them with that 3-star threshold that students need to achieve before moving forward. We can disable the learning loop altogether, which means the students will get the AI feedback but aren't gated with how they move forward. Or we can bump that threshold up to 4 stars. The last option we have down here, which is extension, means that if a question inside of the lesson is marked as optional, and often these are extension questions for expert students, then it doesn't attract the learning loop naturally under thorough or standard, or of course under disabled. But if we set extension in place, then it means that even for those questions which we've marked as optional, the students will need to achieve 4 stars or higher. There is an exit hatch there for students if they aren't able to achieve whatever the star rating is. After 3 attempts at the question, they will be able to move forward, and you'll be able to see in the reporting where students have struggled and be able to address that in turn. But with our learning loop selected and the AI activated, we can assign this task, and then we'll be ready for the students to undertake the activity. Fast forwarding to when this activity is actually being completed by students, we will be able to see the AI feedback they've received by heading to the responses section and also see any of their open-ended responses. In this example, when I come down here to some of the questions that have been answered by students, I can come in and see their particular response here in place and navigate through my different students on the left-hand side. And then over on the right, I can leave my own feedback, which will be important for consolidating students' understanding, but also see the AI feedback they've received with each of their attempts. For questions about the AI or anything EP related, reach out and get in touch. We're here to help however we can.